What if the secret to selling more of your offer was creating one that's 10 times the price?
If you've ever felt resistance around pricing your offer or your courses, or if you're unsure about how to raise prices or rates with the fear of scaring people away, that's what we hear quite often. Or if you think your current offer is quote unquote too expensive, this episode is going to completely shift your perspective.
And over the next few weeks, we're going to be digging into Alex Hormozi's methods. Oh, Judy, this is unfiltered and it's not flowing from my tongue very well. But we are going to be analyzing Alex Hormozi's methods and showing you exactly how we apply them to our clients and get success. And today we are specifically talking about how Alex Hormozi uses his 100x pricing anchor. And we're going to show you real examples of what that looks like inside our clients' funnels.
Yeah, for sure. So, Um, the first example we have is that most of you, and you're probably already thinking of this, is feel that offers, um, you feel that your offer is too expensive. And so why would you price something higher? Why would you listen to us? Well, you don't have to listen to us. You can listen to Hormozy because he told us this tip and this point that we use today for every single one of our clients is to have something super, super expensive. And he says, if you go and watch one of his videos, and multiple videos, he says 10% of people, and like this is probably going to shock you because it did me, 10% of people just want to buy the most expensive thing. So 10% of your qualified leads want to buy the most expensive thing. They do not care. Like those people that just are coming like they don't look at, for instance, they ask the waiter, they're like, "Hey waiter, just you tell me what I should eat. Like you plan it for me." Like those people. Those are the people that just want to buy the most expensive thing, right? So, would you pay, and maybe this isn't you, but I think this is where it comes into we start to reframe our minds. And when Greta and I talk to our clients' minds into um, you think with your client's wallet, not your wallet, right? Just because you wouldn't buy this from you, and more than likely, most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, most people would not buy that offer from themselves. They just wouldn't. You wouldn't. So if that's the case, honestly, you probably have it priced properly. If it's like super insane where you're like, oh man, nobody's
Make
ever
you
going to buy
uncomfortable.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's totally unbelievable. Like, no way is anyone ever going to buy this. I would tell you, Greta and I have also done things where we're like, let's just increase our price to this offer this next time around. Let's just see if people will buy it. And they do without even thinking. They're just like, yep, I want that package. So, an example of something that we did with one of our clients is we had a client who had a short like group program. It was like 6 weeks. It was his group program for like $750. And he kept getting like, oh, I think that's too big of an investment right now, right? Like he basically wanted to get quick wins for his clients. And so instead of us, because he's like, well, should I lower the price? Should I, what can I do? Because we all want to add value. Instead of lowering the price, we decided to add in a mastermind component that was, yes, more expensive, but also longer. So I think that's another thing is when you're pricing one thing that I'm sure Alex does this and he doesn't talk about it specifically, but when you have that higher priced offer as well, it's a longer time period that they have to commit to. And so some people know and see the perceived value of the higher price offer just by adding more time to it. And you guys know this as coaches who are watching this. Most people won't even take action for like a couple months when they buy a high ticket thing. Think about the last mentorship program that you paid for that was like five figures and like when you started executing. For example, 7 months later into one of our coaching programs, I'm going to live coaching calls consistently. Just about 7 months. Did I look at the material? Yes. But did I use the material? Absolutely. But actually attend live coaching. So we positioned it as the premium offer, right? Okay, great. Like, or so you can work with him, our client, for 12K or you can work with me for 6 weeks for $750. It's like a no-brainer almost either way. For that 10%, it's a high level no-brainer. For the other 90%, it's a way to get to know you. And for those of you who are on here, you might be new to group coaching, you might be new to having a mastermind offer or a high ticket coaching offer. This is really, really going to work for you when you have that. So not only did that offer convert more, but he did end up selling 2 of his high ticket prices at that 12K pricing. And so it's Hormozi's anchoring. So anchoring changed the perception of the value on both sides, again, on both sides, to attract that high caliber clients.
Yes. So one thing that I love that you said that really ties into point 2 is that most of us wouldn't pay what we're thinking about charging. It makes us feel uncomfortable. But one thing that we have learned from working with super successful entrepreneurs, people who we literally watch change lives, is that you almost always devalue what it is that you are bringing to the table. So anchoring isn't just about money, it's about confidence and positioning. It's about acknowledging the return on investment somebody is going to get from you. Sometimes that's monetary, and a lot of times it's just what took you years to learn. They're now going to be able to learn in, 6 to 12 weeks, right? And how priceless is that? That in theory, they are going to get to that spot that much faster to then take the next steps. So this pricing strategy isn't only for your customer, it's ultimately for you. It's taking that ultimate stand and recognizing the value you bring to the table. So many of our clients hesitate to raise prices because they are afraid of rejection. But once they have a premium offer, so like in the example we just had, that 12K, suddenly their mid-tier offer feels easier to sell and they feel more confident pitching it. In fact, our client pitched that lower ticket offer on a live masterclass and got 3 sales right then and there without any sales call, without anything. And it was partially just because even to him, this 6-week course priced at $750 was truly a no-brainer. And the beauty is he's now going to get to spend 6 weeks really showcasing his value to those people. And we know that they're going to see how life-changing working with him can be. And so the probability that people who participate in that mid or low tier converting is even that much higher. So just remember that anchoring removes fear. It gives your brain a new floor so your current price doesn't feel like a ceiling anymore.
Absolutely. And I love, for those of you who are on here, like, how am I going to do this? Like, why I think it also helps remove fear is when and if you do sales calls, which you should, if you, especially first starting out, because you need to get data for why people want or don't
I was
want
going
your
to say,
offer.
go back and watch the one where I will die on a hill that every single person has to do sales calls.
Yes.
We'll have to
And
link
so,
that one below. I don't
yeah,
remember
we'll
the
link
name
it
of
below.
that episode.
And especially when you're first starting out. But it's a lot easier and it puts one, your clients, your leads, your prospects can tell when you're fearful when you give that price. If you're shaky, like even if you're not physically, literally shaky, when you say 12K for my mastermind. And by the way, when you say the price, just leave it. Don't say anything else. Is it gives you confidence to say that price because you know you have a lower priced offer that you can offer if they decide that that isn't the option for them, right?
Yes.
So being in integrity on those sales calls, and when somebody asks for a discount, hey, I can't give you that because I have other members who are paying me this price and that would be unethical. But I do have this other 6-week program that you could take to get started. And then we can talk about, doing this mastermind or whatever. So now, how does this play into ads? How does anchoring your offer help you with positioning your ads and your ad strategy? So whenever we're doing anything, and those of you who probably know this by now is like, and Greta's talked about this a lot, is that like ads is like playing the lottery, like you're gambling, you're like figuring things out, right? So when you have multiple offers to test, you are then finding out, okay, I'm going to market for my low or mid ticket offer, right? You're going to run ads to it, and you're going to run ads to your high ticket offer. Now, running ads to your high ticket offer will come later. I'm sure we'll talk about it. We actually talk about this a lot in our mentorship program. So if you have a high ticket offer and you want to join our mentorship program, feel free to reach out, or Greta will probably post a link in the description to reach out for that, on how we can support you with that, because there's different levels of doing it. You're obviously not going to usually do a sale straight to that. You might do a book a call or something like that, or a masterclass, which is a whole different strategy. But to basically summarize why anchoring is that when you're retargeting your ads, it really helps to say, hey, maybe this wasn't for you, right? Maybe like they're like, I don't want to get on a call, especially if you're like running ads for the first time. Like, I don't want to get on a call with a stranger and talk about my deepest, darkest fears. So you have, right? Because that's scary. Like you're like bringing down the mask of telling everything that's going wrong in your business. Nobody wants to admit that at first. But your low and mid ticket offers allow them to try it on their own, get exposure to you, show you as the expert in your space. So that way you're well positioned to then retarget them later on if they end up buying one of those. I mean, there's so much that goes onto it, and there's data points that we have that we talk about in our Simplicity ad system. As well, of which ones to do first, how to know which ones are working as far as targeting. But all that to say is having those different low, mid, and high ticket price points, aka anchored pricing, allows you to have better ad performance and have multiple things. So they're not seeing the same thing over and over and over again. So a well-positioned offer, or I'll say at this point, offers, because I'm talking about you're at least having two. You're having a mid and a high, or you're having a low and a high, whatever it is that you want to do, performs better for your entire funnel, because then you're able to segue them into different parts of your funnel versus just having one path, because no one person is at the same point in their business when they're coming into you. They're going to need multiple paths to go to, right?
Absolutely. So today we talked through Alex Hormozi's 100x pricing anchor practices by creating, just like Judy said, those multiple offers. But next week, we're going to be diving into how visibility plays a part in the pricing perception. Because here's the thing, you can have amazing offers, and we think you start with the offer side of things because you have to understand those pain points, the transformation, have those landing page and nurture sequences built out. But the reality is, hate to break it to you, nobody knows you exist. And that's why your ads aren't working. So we're going to break down how to actually get seen, stay top of mind, and build trust with cold audiences using ads that convert. So thanks for hanging with us today, and we will see you next week.